Shalom, family. Good to see you all here. Hope you're doing well. Well, this topic is now the Purple Revolution. And I am not for joining this new thing that they're doing. So if you haven't heard about this, it's ex-MAGA that have left the party. So they're no longer MAGA because they're upset with Donald Trump and the elites. That they feel are running the country in the ground. So it's called purple because they're trying to bring together both parties, the people that are unhappy that are on the Democrat side, the people that are unhappy on the Republican side, to form this purple revolution. Now, here's the problem I have with the whole thing. Many of these ex-MAGAs were very much agreeing with Charlie Kirk, okay, and his ideology, which we know was racism. That's what a lot of these ex-MAGAs used to go along with, and probably more than likely still do. You can't change stripes on a tiger. So anyway, they are the ones heading this group in an effort to bring people together for this purple revolution. And we have not been out there, and I'm just telling y'all, stay away from this crap. And I'm going to let you listen to what they're saying about this. It has been a big uptick about this on social media. So the Purple Revolution is being promoted by a new grassroots movement calling for unity across the political divide. So it's said to have been started by a former MAGA supporter who has since distanced themselves from hardcore MAGA ideology, which I don't trust. Okay, because we know about all of the racism and everything in MAGA. So just because you broke away from MAGA, that doesn't mean I'm going to trust you. All right. So most of their messages are in regards to resisting Donald Trump and the elite power in the country and reclaiming the power to the people. The concept is good, but the people running it, that's where I run into issues. I'm sorry. eh, Being side by side with a former MAGA, that doesn't leave a good taste in my mouth at all. So they're claiming what they're trying to do is bring unity. And I don't know, what is unity to an ex-MAGA supporter? Because their definition of unity and mine will be greatly different. And look, y'all, this is just another effort to get us out there. And that's why I'm just saying, don't fall for this. Unfortunately, some of our people are willing to give this a chance because I'm seeing it over on TikTok. Yeah, well, they left MAGA and they're doing this purple revolution. And, after I heard it, yep, I'm on board. No, no. You know how it is. Some of our people, it don't take much for these folks to get them on their side. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so you can listen to these various people talking about the Purple Revolution. Please give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Thank you.
Seen tons of Purple Revolution videos, which I had never in a million years expected to see. I guess I'm so busy on trying to get the website and things done that I didn't realize other people were actually paying attention to this, but they are. And that's really cool. And most of the videos were really cool, very inspiring. I loved seeing how much hope you guys have, because that gives me more hope, because we need a lot of people to do this, pull this off. And, there's some people that are angry or don't agree. And some people I found didn't know what we stood for at all. They just had gone off assumptions, or they're going off of a video that someone else made about what someone said. So I thought I would just make a video clarifying the points of the Purple Revolution. And if you want to participate, we'd love to have you. And if you don't, that's okay too. There's no force here. So let me get started. So number one is we have to stop the administration. Full stop. They're hurting people. They're endangering people physically, financially, emotionally, every way that they can be trying to hurt people. They're doing it. And they started with one group, but they're going to go for all the groups that don't like them. So no one is safe here. So yeah, they have to be stopped. The second one is we have to stop ICE, because that's his wannabe military. He knows he does not control our military. So he had to make his little fake side one, which is about 15,000 people. And if you think about that versus how many of us there are, if we have enough people, this really shouldn't be a problem. And it doesn't even necessarily have to get violent. We could stop them in mass numbers. And that's what we're trying to do, is have enough of us show up, surround them, and have them no choice but to surrender or back up. Okay, we want this as peaceful as possible. If we have to take the next step, we will take the next step, because we are not okay with minorities being harassed. Period. Okay? Third thing is we want AIPAC out of our government. We want Israel to go bye-bye. No, thank you. We don't need Israel running our government. That's where Project 2025, that's where Project Esther, all this stuff is coming from, is Israel's trying to run our government, and they're doing a pretty darn good job, because they basically bought out both sides. So we need all of the people that are taking out AIPAC money to know that they better stop, or they're just going to be voted out, because our goal is to get rid of all of them. The next thing is we've got to stop lobbying and Citizens United, because this is what allows the elite to control everything. I just saw a thing that says something like the top 10% of wealth, the people that own that, their stuff gets passed. What the rest of us vote on doesn't get passed. So it's all about the money and the control that they put in, because our people are bought and paid for on both sides. This has to stop, because we can't protect minorities. We can't protect the poor. We can't protect anybody as long as that money goes into that government. We can't make policy that will protect anyone. So that has to go, and they need to know that right now. The next thing, which is really all through those other things, is to protect human rights, to let everyone exist as they are. They have the right to do that, and we stand for that. Point blank, period. Everybody is included in this, because diversity is what wins. Unity is what wins. We want everybody's point of view. Like Pete Hegseth acting like women shouldn't be in there. Men, militaries often lose because they don't have women's perspective. They don't have the certain skills that women have. And when you just go off one point of view, companies lose out too. Just all white men, good. You don't have perspective of a whole bunch of people, and then those companies don't thrive. We want to thrive and win as a movement, as a revolution, because we really don't have another choice, do we? We have to win. And the last thing, which is really all of this, but it's what the foundation has to be built on, is unity. It means caring about your neighbor, having conversations, having get-togethers. Stop being afraid of your neighbor, getting off of here and taking cookies to people that you weren't talking to before. I know that isn't always easy, but the thing is, if the house next door was on fire, are you going to stop to ask them about their political policies, or are you going to jump in there and put out the fire with them? I am not going to ask them their political policies. I'm going to ask them for help. And right now, that is what we're doing. This place is on fire, and it's only going to get worse. Now, as much as he's failing, and he really is, ICE is a problem. And I'm not okay with watching anything that happens. I'm like, they've got to a place where I'm just like, no, I cannot. So unity is important, because we need mass numbers. And the thing about unity, because some people are like, well, we have demands on what we want our policies to be. Up front, we want to know the policies. What I know, having run a big company with people of all different backgrounds, is that when they have to go through some hard times together and they're forced to kind of work together, they come out with better ideas. They know each other better. They know each other's backgrounds better. So if you take both sides right now and you sit them down and you try and make demands, you're going to go nowhere. In fact, the left can't even sit and do that. We couldn't even get a president elected. And then they want to tell me, well, we want demands. You guys do that to each other. We couldn't even get a president to stop half of this. So that's because we weren't united. It always comes down to unity, always. Red, blue, purple. You have to go around that wall. You have to try and stop a wall of people that are saying, no more. People will be treated with dignity and respect. And we will not be crushed by the rich and the politicians that take the money from them. Absolutely not. Over our dead bodies. Hopefully, we don't have to go that far. But you see, the more people we have, the more unified we are, the less likely we are to have to go there and the safer we are. You know, if we go to these protests and we're all in purple, some crazy comes by like, oh, I'll get those blue lefties. Well, we're purple. Hey, everybody, we're purple. People that voted with you last time, they're standing here because they're tired of how this is all going. No one's winning. No one's winning right now. So that's why unity is so important. And after you go through a lot of things together, you may not be besties, but you understand each other better. And when you go to make policy and you get the politicians out that are ruining things, then you can have a much better conversation about what's possible. Because right now, everyone's making on demands on what the past was and how messy everything is now, but we aren't even looking at what's possible. And you can only do what's possible when you go to someplace new. And new is unity. You do not have to be best friends to put out a fire. Do you understand? So that's where we're coming from. Anything else anyone else is saying, oh, they're anti this and they don't care about, yeah, not true. If you want to know, come ask me, because I notice a lot of these content creators are not asking me. It's me and Brian. And if you feel like you even need more clarity, maybe me, because his language at this point might go, well, he meant this, because everyone's looking for something to be upset about. And I understand that because everybody's really touchy and traumatized and stressed on both sides. And this is why we're trying to bring the temperature down. We're looking at ways to protest nonviolently. Parker's Permaculture just did a whole week in training, so she had no idea how many things there were that you can do that are nonviolent. We want to learn all of that, and then we're going to learn other tactics if we have to get tougher. And that's where Brian's skills come in. So, and then we have all these conversations with people reaching out that are out to help us. And people are like, well, we want action. Okay, well, this has been like a week. And we have all this stuff we're trying to get done, but action is the plan, but it also has to be methodical. It has to be strategic, because we're not going to get a bunch of chances at this. You know, when there's all these dudes walking around with weapons, I want to make sure we get it right. And I want to keep people safe. So we're going to do it the best and most, full of integrity and conscious to the details as we can. And I hope you can understand that. And if you can't and you want to do your own thing, absolutely go for it. And if you have a better plan than unity, tell me. Do a video and say, I actually know the way. She's got it wrong. I know the way. This will work. I'm going to lead it. Come follow me right now. Fantastic. I'll be right there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is an easy one. This is simply an appeal to comfort for white people on the right. I'm telling you, as a white father to a multiracial family of 6, hearing anybody say this purple revolution shit is an immediate red flag. And I'll tell you why. You cannot have, as a white person on the right, you cannot have a smoking gun aimed at people that look like my wife and my children for 10 years straight. And then when you realize you got one pointing right back at you right now, and you try to run around and say, oh shit, let's come together. I'm not going to fucking do that. Now I can empathize, I can understand logically in my brain why white people on the right want to do this, right? Because all of a sudden they are in the crosshairs as well, which they have been the whole time, but they didn't listen to anybody. I can understand the feeling of, oh shit, we're in it deep. Hey guys, can we try this again? Sorry about that. And I'll tell you why it won't work. Because the minute a white person on the right, this happens on the left too, gets held accountable for shitty choices, for white supremacy, they immediately fold, right? Immediately react out of anger, or guilt and shame, panic. White people, we try to escape accountability at every fucking turn. So, for example, if someone came up to me and said, "Hey, sorry about that. Like, let's be friends and fight the government together," I'd be like, "Okay, let's talk about how you've been complicit in white supremacy and how you've actively dehumanized my family for 10 years and how you have carried out violence, whether or not you're conscious of it, towards people that look just like my family. And so I don't trust you. So no, I will not be participating in this purple revolution." The response to that will not go well. And I'll speak to this out of a story in my own life. Years back, when I had talked to a white friend of mine that I had for 10 years, was like a brother to me, legitimately, and told him, supporting white supremacy is a deal breaker in our relationship, because you will not see my children as human beings. I was a single father of 2 at that time. I was still a multiracial family. And that was offensive to him. And they tried to, switch it to, well, you're just making this about politics. Why can't we just have a difference in politics? Because it's way deeper than that, obviously, right? Those of us that have been paying attention for 10 fucking years know that. And so whatever this movement is will immediately fall flat the minute white people as a collective get held accountable. You saw how fast, and I'll talk about it on the left too. You remember the blue bracelet movement? You saw how fast that folded. That was like overnight. Because the minute white people got pushed back and says that's performative, that doesn't mean fucking shit to me. It was, oh, okay, well, I tried. I guess I'm not good enough. Sorry for trying to help. Fucking forget it. We're very sensitive. We lack accountability. We still view ourselves as a standard. So while, again, I can understand logically why white people on the right want to try to find middle ground, there is none. They just openly mourned a white supremacist 3 weeks ago, which further cemented in place their support for open, overt, violent white supremacy. Right? And so I cannot go from supporting a white man, y'all know who I'm talking about, who made it his entire life's work to be bigoted, racist, homophobic, just a white Christian nationalist. I cannot openly mourn someone like that. Tell on myself, which is admitting, whoever supported him was an open, like, white supremacist. And then come back and be like, hey, I get it now. Let's come together. It just is not going to fucking work. So it'll be a TikTok movement that lasts for maybe 24 to 36 hours. And if it doesn't, let's say it lasts for a little while, it's not sustainable without true accountability. And even with accountability at this point, they are 100% not trustworthy. Just like the rest of white people across the board. Doesn't matter where I land on the spectrum politically, or you or whoever, all of us collectively as white people are untrustworthy right now. Nobody's going to buy into that shit.
It's not left versus right. It's up versus down. Sure. But I think that we can do two things at the same time. I think we can acknowledge that there are wealth hoarding capitalist monsters dooming millions of people into poverty. And then also some of those millions of people who are doomed to poverty also kind of want immigrants to have no rights in America, and also want women to have different rights in America, and also want gay people to have different rights. It's a little bit of left versus right. And I think that all of the conservatives coming on here talking about a purple revolution where we suddenly hold hands and sing Kumbaya and walk off into the sunset together have to first acknowledge that some of these culture war issues that they have been hoodwinked into thinking are very important to them are because those capitalist wealth hoarding monsters want them to focus on that, want them to marginalize and other minorities and not their fucking wealth hoarding capitalist overlords. I'm all for a purple revolution. I just need the color to be a little bit deeper, kind of a bluish, like kind of a dark blue, like a really deep blue where everybody has fucking equal rights,
See, cause y'all playing the purple revolution. The purple revolution is what y'all just. Why are y'all playing with colors? This ain't no coloring book. This is real life. Y'all over here playing with colors. What is the obsession with white people and colors? You got what? Brown, black, green, red, blue. Like, it doesn't matter. All you have to do is boycott and unity. Mind you, you don't even need both sides to boycott the same thing. Conservatives, they care about taxes. Okay, y'all boycott the tax side of things. Liberals and all you other leftists, y'all boycott healthcare because that's what's important to you. And if y'all do it at the same time, oh my God. Oh my goodness. And then you guys just maintain it. Don't switch up. Don't quit it. You keep going until you get what you want. How many times do we have to see in history? Mind you, what annoys me, I see why Malcolm X said liberals are a bigger enemy to the black man than like the conservatives. I can see now because liberals are like, y'all are the most educated people or whatever. Y'all care so much about people, right? If that's the case, how do y'all have so much education and you see the historical things that have taken place that led up to revolutions and changes and newer things, and y'all don't do any of those things? None of them. Or you play a little tit for tat here and there, and then you like, oh no, you back off. Y'all don't care enough, bro. Y'all just out here just playing around.
I think the most beautiful thing that I am starting to see right now is what everybody is calling the purple revolution. Y'all please appreciate. So what the purple revolution is that evidently everybody is waking up. The Democrats are waking up to the Democratic bullshit. The Republicans are waking up to the Republican bullshit. And then there has been people coming online and even going above and beyond, and they are taking accountability. They are blaming themselves and they are waking up. And they are saying that they regret their vote and that they are no longer part of MAGA and everything like that. This is like my fifth or fourth video I done seen today. Now y'all please excuse my appearance. I kind of look a little crazy. This nice shit is killing my ass right now. But I will say this to all the people who are saying, oh man, fuck y'all. Y'all don't belong over here and everything like that. Little did y'all know, this is the start of the purple revolution, honey. They are starting to wake up. Like I've told y'all once before, it is not the black people or the Hispanic people or the Asian people that's about to be a problem here. It's gonna be the white people. It's the white people. It's y'all that's waking the fuck up. And that right there, honestly, that's the group of people they don't want y'all to wake up. Y'all the main group of people they don't want y'all to wake up. Us black folk, Hispanic, Native Americans, Asian, the shit that y'all seeing right now is what we've been trying to tell y'all. But y'all ain't want to listen to us because of the color of our damn skin. But now that y'all see it firsthand for yourselves, now who do you see who the problem is? So as far as I'm concerned, baby boy, baby girl, if you was once part of MAGA, guess what? I motherfucking forgive your ass, all right? Because guess what?
You wasn't the fucking only one that was manipulated. And then if you really want to keep it a buck, a lot of these fucking Democrats voted for his ass too, and they even starting to wake up. But like I said, now this is why I voted independent. You know what I'm saying? Because I thought both parties is bullshit. But now that y'all are waking up, that's what I'm talking about. So to all of the, I'ma call y'all fugitive MAGAs. To all you fugitive MAGAs, come on over here, baby. Welcome to the dark side. Where's the fast side? It ain't nothing left for you over there. It ain't nothing left for you over there. Just come on over here with us. We've been trying to tell y'all. We've been trying to tell y'all. Y'all just didn't want to listen to us because of what y'all were clouded by. Now y'all starting to wake the fuck up. Like I said, us waking up and Hispanic people waking up, that does not bother them. Because they been knew that shit was gonna happen first. Once y'all white people start waking the fuck up, ooh we, especially y'all southern racist folk, once y'all start turning against y'all racism, whoa, that's when they gonna start getting terrified on it. That's when they gonna start being like, oh shit. Now our own people is turning against us, oh shit. That's the purple revolution, baby. That's what that is. So with that being said, don't blame them. Don't blame them. Welcome them over here. Welcome them over here because guess what? The bigger the army, the bigger the takedown. Period. So to all the fugitive MAGAs, welcome to the dark side. Where is the best side?
Let's talk about this purple revolution. So if you guys haven't heard about the purple revolution that is going on, there are a few people who have come out with the idea of unifying the left and the right to create a purple revolution. Now, the people who are spearheading this revolution were people who consistently voted for Bone Spurs. Despite everything that Bone Spurs did, despite all the warnings that they had, they walked in that voting booth in November and they voted for Bone Spurs, despite everything that they knew he was going to do. These people feeling the effects now of Bone Spurs' policies and finally understanding that his policies doesn't just hurt other people, it hurts them too. They're coming out for this purple revolution, saying that we should all come together to fight the regime. Now, I want to be extremely clear about something. I am not against the purple revolution. As a progressive myself, I have always understood that the people on the top have been using fear-mongering tactics and stoking the hate and fear that some people who are ignorant to the subjects feel to get those people to vote against themselves. That is something that has been happening for decades. And it is something that Bernie Sanders pointed out during his 2015 run as well as his 2020 run. This isn't new. The top versus the bottom concept has been spoken about by progressives for a while now. So I do appreciate that they are finally catching up to what progressives have been saying this entire time. I appreciate that. And I want to applaud the main guy who is trying to start this revolution. I believe his name is Purple Revolutionary or something like that. I will tag him to this video on TikTok so that you can see what he has been saying. I applaud him for coming out, being vulnerable, taking accountability for his actions, and apologizing to the people he has hurt. Thing is, I don't think that this revolution is going to work the way that they want it to. And it's for quite a few reasons. For one, a lot of the people coming out about this revolution want to skirt past the politics of this revolution. They don't want to talk about politics. They don't want to talk about the ideals that they had that led us to this point. They want to skip past how we got here and then just go straight to everybody join this movement because those people are hurting us. When there are certain people in this country who have been hurt by the government. They have been hurt for decades and centuries in this country. And those people who are talking about a revolution now are just now feeling how oppressive the government can be. I think it is rich that the people that I have seen following and jumping on board of this movement, this purple revolution on both the left and the right, are people who represent a demographic that has never been oppressed by the government. These people who are talking about, yeah, let's come together now, are people who have never had to worry about whether their husband would make it home if he got stopped by the cops. Never had to worry about your child being pew-pewed in the face for knocking on the wrong door. They have never had to worry about what name to give their children, because if you gave your children too much of an ethnic name, it would make it difficult for them to find work when they got older. You have never had to worry about switching your accent on a phone interview so that you can get in the door for that job, being passed over for a job that you are more than qualified for, only for someone with half of your experience to get said job simply because they were the right demographic. The people who are talking about this revolution right here are missing one specific thing about bringing people together. And they are doing it because they don't really want to take an introspective look as to why we are here right now. Bone Spurs was the result, but he is not the cause of why we are here. The oppression started long ago. Propaganda against others that don't look like you started long ago. And in order for this movement to actually move, we need to address the root causes of how we got here in the first place. Voting against a woman's right to choose, against someone's right to marry, against children's rights to be in a classroom and not be attacked, trans rights in this country, the human rights of people who immigrate to this country. These are all the things that the people who are talking about this revolution voted against. But they don't want to talk about that because they just want people to skip right past it and join them. All of a sudden, trust them. But the thing is, if they had never lost anything in this current administration, would they still be trying to do a revolution as people suffer who don't look like them, who don't live like them? Would they still see the atrocities of what is going on in this country? And if they themselves were not affected by it, do you think that they would stand up against it? And this is why many in the Black community, almost everybody that I have seen, is like, yeah, they're not talking to us. This revolution ain't for us. They're saying we're invited to the revolution, but they're not talking about how we got here. The systematic oppression. These are the same people who rail against teaching critical race theory in schools. They don't want people to know how oppressive the system has always been for people, not them. And because they cannot take that step to reverse engineer the molecular structure of this government and the history that is not in a vacuum, because every event in American history led us to this exact point. You cannot have a clear revolution for everyone unless you dissect how we got here so that you can change everything in the future. In one of those videos, the Purple Revolutionary was saying that they wanted everybody, Black, brown, Hispanic, immigrant, trans, and all this other stuff. They want everybody to join with them. But then what's going to happen after? We have other influencers talking about we need to table all of our issues for now and focus on the regime. We'll figure it out when we get there. No. 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 The whole enemy of my enemy is my friend only works as long as there is an enemy. As soon as that enemy has been taken care of, the people who have been oppressed in this country will continue to be oppressed in this country. And once again, our bodies will line the streets for your benefit. Just like with the civil rights movement. Our lives will be on the line, only for us to have to get to the back of the line when it comes to the benefits. There cannot be a revolution in this country without a massive change of mindset. And there cannot be a massive change of mindset in this country if you keep ignoring the fact that there is that mindset. It comes off as you just want to unify because it's hurting you. And as soon as it's not hurting you anymore, you'll totally forget that the people oppressed in this country are human. And there's even one influencer in this revolution who is saying that the differences that the right and left had are petty differences. The right to exist is not a petty difference. Human rights are non-negotiable. You do not have the right to tell someone that they cannot exist. That is not a petty difference. Y'all want to skip right over the responsibility part. You can say, hey, I make no excuses. I'm so sorry for the people hurt and all of this other stuff. But my thing is this. Where are the videos about Trey Reed, about the raids in Chicago, talking about the oppression that you have voted for? Where are the videos with you explaining what you have learned about history and how people have been systematically oppressed in this country, and people like you have continuously voted for such policies, knowing good and darn well that you hurt other people just because it didn't hurt you? And now that it is, now you want to come together. Now you think that everybody should be equal. Well, it is really difficult for people who have been oppressed their entire lives to look at this revolution and feel anything but distrust, uncertainty, and skepticism. With something like this, you're not going to be able to cut corners. Now, for the people who want to join this movement and think that everybody should come together, I highly encourage it. Because if you guys are going to protest at things like the No Kings movement, Frozen People protest, if these people who are talking about this revolution want to rally their people to come and join the people who are protesting right now, do it. I highly encourage that. But just understand that the oppressed people of this country are probably not going to join this movement until there is demonstration of a real understanding of how we got here in the first place. And I really hope that people can collectively reach that understanding so that when this regime is toppled, we can indeed break down and start over, deleting the oppressive systems that have been ingrained in this country from the very beginning.
I'm going to show you in a minute and a half why I have a hard time trusting this purple revolution.
You're a leftist. I have a strong fucking message for you.
Not that, that's fine. Stick with me though.
Hi, I'm Hunter Howell, and I want to be your friend.
And yes, I know who Hunter is. I watched a lot of his streams over the last year, before the election when he was really rooting hard for our current president.
Now, just because I lean right on some issues, we all can agree that our government is occupied by Israel, by AIPAC, by Netanyahu, by the idea.
Yes, we can agree to that, and I think there were plenty of people talking about this even before the election.
And it's time for a change. And in order to make that change, we need what's called a purple revolution.
We're almost there. Hold on, you'll see.
We can go back to disagreements later.
What kind of differences, Hunter? What kind of differences are we talking about?
Petty differences aside.
And there it is, petty differences. Now, when you say petty differences, what differences are you talking about exactly?
Some formal policy in regards to domestic issues.
Now, he didn't clarify which domestic issues he was talking about, but let's talk about a few domestic issues that we will simply not be able to disagree on and everything just be okay. Now, Hunter, I'm going to assume that you and me are alike in the fact that we are both white, straight males. But here's a few things. The LGBTQIA plus community deserves to be free and happy to love who they love, be who they are, and this includes gay people, trans people, the whole 9 yards. Women deserve to be free to make their own healthcare decisions and decisions about their body without input from you and me. People that are a different skin tone than us, they deserve to be treated with respect and have all the same freedoms that we have. Undocumented immigrants deserve to be treated with respect, given due process, and treated like they matter, like they're actual human beings. I could go on and on and on, but if those are what you call petty differences, those are not petty differences. Those are human rights. Those are morals that I can never compromise on. And this, and the way that that video and the way that he framed that, is why right now at this point, I don't trust this purple revolution. I would say sorry, not sorry, but respectfully, it's just not sorry because there's no compromise on human rights. And unless that's part of the revolution and part of this conversation, then there's really nothing we have to talk about.
So white people are on my FYP talking about purple revolution. And what this is from is there are particular creators, one whose name is actually Purple Revolution, who are talking about the fact that they are MAGA or are coming out of MAGA or are still MAGA and realizing that Trump lied to them and that everything that they thought they believed in was a lie. Are these people woke? Not yet. But because these policies are not creating the world they thought it was going to create, and because it's actually harming them and they're starting to realize that it's harming them, they're starting to realize that we need to come together to put an end to this regime. And they're calling it Purple Revolution in honor of the man who most of us have seen on our FYP talking about it. And so in these comments, I've seen multiple people from left, right, in between, and out on the edges talking about, I'm with you, sir. Let's get this done. Purple Revolution. I'm gonna call it the Prince movement. Okay. But I'm seeing a lot of these comments and hashtags, but I'm not seeing anything being put into action. And I know people aren't going to like display what they're doing behind the scenes on their social medias, but I want to know that the people who are predominantly white in these comment sections who are talking about Purple Revolution, the Prince movement, right? That they are going to actually put it into work. But something in me is telling them that they don't know how. And part of them is still waiting for Black and brown people to take the lead, to be at the forefront of this movement. And that's just not going to happen. So for all of the white people who want to make Purple Revolution a real thing, who want to actually put an end to this tyrannical dictatorship, here's a little advice. If y'all want this to be a real revolution with real results and not a revolution cosplay, then I need y'all to stop romanticizing 1776 and get a grip on reality and realize that we are in 2025. That means this is going to take strategy, discipline, and sacrifice, not hashtags and slogans. Don't just sit here and scream about tyranny and freedom without specifics. Y'all have to define what a non-tyrannical government looks like to you and the other people that you're trying to make this world better for. It means taking into account policies, rights, accountability. Then you'll need to write a platform. Short, plain English, understandable for most people, and actionable before anything else. Know your demands. Know what it is that you're fighting for, fighting and working towards. And for this to be a real revolution for real people, it can't just center you and your religious beliefs or your moral convictions, if that's what y'all want to call them. This has to be for everyone's basic human rights, while keeping in mind that you are going to allow people to live the way they want to live as long as they're not harming anyone else without imposing your own beliefs onto them. We need to be real big on minding our business. Y'all need to organize locally and not just online, because real movements grow from neighborhoods up, not from hashtags down. Build chapters, hold town meetings, town halls, hold strategy sessions, get people together and organized, meet up and communicate face to face, train members in action and community defense, because every movement is going to need a defense party. It's going to be a big one for y'all, but y'all are going to have to sacrifice comfort, not just talk about it. A revolution that doesn't cost something is not a revolution. Risk your reputation. Call out racism and fascism anywhere and any place around anybody that you happen to hear it or see it. Risk your job. Organize unions. Push for changes for good in the workplace. Protect the whistleblowers. Risk your money. Fund the causes and leaders that are already doing the work. Protect those most vulnerable. Because if you're serious about ending tyranny, then you need to start where it hits the hardest. Black and brown communities, poor folks, LGBTQIA+, immigrants, disabled people. Make protecting the people of those communities your front line work, not an afterthought. To do that, you have to have empathy and be selfless. Stop idolizing strong men. You can't fight tyranny by continuing to create mini dictators. Absolutely no more cult of personality leaders. Use collective decision-making and communication and transparency and share leadership roles, especially with those who come from marginalized communities. And study, learn to understand how real movements work. Study the civil rights movement, labor movements, indigenous land defense. Study anti-apartheid movements and struggles. Understand that boycotts work. Money holds power. And please remember that mutual aid helps when states crack down. And be ready for state and governmental pushback. They might smear you, divide you, arrest you, threaten your jobs. This is normal. And if you aren't ready for it, you aren't ready for revolution. Center justice, not freedom. Because freedom without justice just becomes freedom for the powerful to oppress. Make equity, I know that word is scary, and rebuild the foundation. Or else you're just going to end up rebuilding a shinier version of the same system. Now, y'all are going to have to commit for the long run. You can't just give up the movement and stop doing the work when it's no longer trending on your FYP. We're talking about decades. If you can't do these things, you're not ready for a revolution and you're not really ready to end tyranny. You're just venting. Real change, real revolution takes discipline, humility, and the willingness to be uncomfortable and make sacrifices for the greater good of all, not just yourself.
Y'all heard about the Purple Revolution. I've been on a tirade all day today, and I heard there was a Purple Revolution, a group of MAGA people who have begun to see the light and see that MAGA way is not the way. They begin to burn their red hats, and they have some grand idea that they would just come back over here and join forces with us and declare and form a peaceful revolution. Get how racist and hateful you were. You forget that you voted against your own self-interest in order to harm Black and brown people. You know, Purple Revolution, because we don't trust you. We understand as soon as things cool down for you and you don't feel as threatened, you feel safe and secure, you'll go back to your nasty, ugly, racist ways. And there will be no revolution, because there cannot be a revolution without Black people. And we are not getting out there with you all to protest anything. We've made it very clear. We have no desire to join forces with you. We don't trust you. Any heavy lifting that needs to be done, you better do it on your own. We'll sit over here and watch you. Out of your mind talking about a purple revolution.
I need to warn you about the Purple Revolution. Hi, my name is Hunter, one of the founders, and I have the screenshots to show you that this is actually a lot more sinister than it seems. Here they are. This was this morning. Brian, the Purple Revolution himself, said, I can't say I'm anti-war because sometimes war is needed. Look at our circumstances now. This may lead to war. This guy, Brian, do not be fooled by him. He is forming this Purple Revolution, and there is an absolute rift between what he wants and what you want for this revolution. I'm telling you, this revolution should be about peace and uniting with the other side. He wants to gather up enough numbers to go and do something violent in a big crowd. And because I would not compromise, I would not sell out to him, and I called him out to his face, he kicked me out of the Purple Revolution. But this Purple Revolution is not about him. And it's not about me. It's about hundreds of thousands to millions of us that actually want to unite peacefully through dialogue. And I'm not going to stop advocating for that. I'm still going to talk about having a Purple Revolution of peace, unity, love, and kindness. And whatever the hell he is trying to do, I am begging you to be leery, to be aware, and to not always trust someone because they are not who they seem to be.
Purple Revolution. A purple revolution. I hadn't heard of that, but my mutual, Tabitha Speaks Politics, clued me into it by one of her videos. You all go follow Tabitha because she is tireless in her work in covering politics through a Black American lens and keeping the community informed. But I want to show you all a video clip of one of the main people who is behind this so-called Purple Revolution. Warning, get your barf bags ready.
I've been doing some thinking. I said at the very beginning that I would do what I had to do to make sure I bring our people together. So first things first, what I'm going to say is that I apologize from the bottom of my heart for voting for Trump, for voting for everything that ended up happening. I still to this day feel sick to my stomach looking back at the person that I was. And there's no excuse for it, no matter if I was manipulated or whatever you want to call it, at a cult. I should have had a stronger mind. And I allowed that to be penetrated. So for that, I apologize. Anybody who suffered at the hands of the government, you have my heartfelt sincerity.
I told y'all to have your barf bags ready. So this guy goes under the handle Purple Revolution. I did not duet or stitch his video because I do not want to give his videos any more exposure directly. But Purple Revolution comes from this idea that is spreading online among white folk, especially white MAGA, of white leftists, blue, and white MAGA, red, coming together, and blue combined with red is purple. So he goes on in this video, because it goes on for much longer, to say that he is so sorry and that people like him have changed their ways. They are sick to their stomach that they voted for Trump and that they were involved in MAGA, and they apologize to marginalized groups for the harm that is done, but that we need to forgive them and join with them so that we can fight this regime. We need to put aside the divisiveness and all that other bullshit. Then he goes on to say that he recognizes that words are cheap and hollow, but that he made this video and others like it to have accountability, and that we need to put our differences behind us in the whole kumbaya scenario. Black Americans, we knew this was going to happen. Here's what I want to say about this so-called purple revolution that's spreading online. We know that it is another manipulation tactic. For the first time in the history of this country, white Americans are finally dealing with the repercussions of their racism and their racist actions, including their vote. See, beforehand, they could be racist and vote in racist policies, and it would hurt Black Americans and everybody else that they hated. But see, things are much different now. This current era of the felon in chief, they are feeling the effects of their vote, and it's scaring them. That's why you have white farmers crying and begging the federal government that they voted in office to bail them out yet again. Every time they go to the grocery store or to put gas in their car, they get sticker shock. The cost of living in every aspect is skyrocketing. Now it is affecting them, and they're scared. Because, see, after November 5th, we Black Americans have not responded in the way that they thought that we would. They thought we would be out in the street protesting, putting our bodies on the line yet again to make change that benefits everybody else but us. And see, we're no longer doing that. And they have tried everything they could think of. This guy has the audacity to say, well, we need to join together. The left and the right and marginalized groups need to put away their distrust. You can kiss my Black behind. Even now, we are dealing with Black people being lynched and hung from trees. And the piss poor excuse for law enforcement is covering it up, saying suicide. When that fascist was unalived, the campuses of historically Black colleges received bomb threats. And all over social media, his folk and his ilk threatening Black Americans. Now, all of a sudden, we are supposed to believe that they woke up this morning and decided, oh no, we have seen the light. Every American deserves the rights guaranteed to us under the Constitution, and that every decent human being should enjoy. Get the fuck out of here with that. They're scared, you all. So now what they're doing is they're putting on this kumbaya act. Oh, we no longer watch Fox News. I'm sick to my stomach that I voted for the felon in chief. And you think that we believe this? Here's the thing, though. They are correct in one way. In order for white supremacy to be deconstructed in this nation, white America, both left and right, are going to have to do it. And he asked the question, well, what can we do to prove our sincerity? I've got a couple of ideas. Number one, you and all of your MAGA, conservative, so-called Christian folk, and all of the white leftists, because you all are different flavors of the same ice cream, you all need to get together en masse and go down to Mar-a-Lago and go up to Washington, D.C., to the White House and to the Capitol with that energy that was brought on January 6th. And you need to vote for democracy after you do that. But then you have much more work to do. And all of the damage that this administration has done must be reversed. That's a lot of hard work. Black Americans didn't create the racial caste system. We didn't invent chattel slavery and racism. Y'all did. And guess what? The onus is on you to tear it down. Black Americans, don't fall for this kumbaya act. Please. This is just a manipulation tactic to get us to do what we historically have always done, put our Black bodies on the line to fight for our freedom and liberation. And any strides we make, everybody else enjoys. But we're still last in line. Not anymore. You all stay the course.
Well, well, well. So there's something I want to talk about, dear, that is circulating on the internet and everywhere. The Purple Revolution. I was tagged in a whole lot of videos of the last 2 days about the Purple Revolution, dear. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, let's backtrack just a bit. We all know that the Red Hat crew is in their finding out stage from fucking around and trying to play with the orange clown. And there's some in the Red Hat crew that have put down their red hat today, set them ablaze in a big, big way, and they want to come over here and play with us, dear. And some of you seem to think that's where we are in this revolution. And I'm here to tell you today, oh no, no, baby, it is not time to let them back in just because they are starting to feel a bit uncomfortable, friend. You see, the flames of fascism are heating up, but they have yet to be burned. And if they are not burned, they will not learn. It is not time for them to come this way and join arms with us today. That is not the play, and I can prove it to you right here. Do you remember the last time the orange man was up there in White House land? Yes, indeed. By 2019, the end of such, some of the Red Hat crew were disillusioned with the orange dude. By 2020, they no longer wanted to bend for their orange friend. By 2021, they had joined us in winning back our democracy. By 2022, they started to get real comfortable with us in the blue. They were making money again. Food was back on the shelves. Everything was okay. The stock market was on the rise. We were doing better than anybody here in the US of A. The whole entire globe was still suffering from a recession, baby. They were still burying bodies. But here in the US of A, we were finally starting to be okay. People were going on vacay. They were out in the streets. They were loving their life. They were out there trying to play. They got so comfortable with the new blue regime that they started to once again sip the Kool-Aid, friend, because we made them comfortable in this country. We were so ready for the division to end, we just invited them in. And look where we are today. Look where we are today. So just because some of those over there no longer want to play with the red because they're feeling uncomfortable today, it is not time to let them come over here and play. If you want to know what part of this revolution we are in the part of the revolution where the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Not, well, those who have moved away from my enemy is my friend. No, baby. We need to align ourselves with our enemies that are the enemies of our enemy, dear. And I know that's a hard thing to do for some people in the blue because of all of our ideals, our moral superiority. You think you can't get down there and get dirty. But that's the part of the revolution we're in. We need to be looking for the enemy of my enemy to be my friend, not those who are just feeling a bit uncomfortable today. That is not the play. But there will come a day. There will come a day when it will be okay to let a few of them in. But we are not there. Just because they're starting to feel the heat. Don't invite them in for dinner to eat. Okay? Let them wallow in that uncomfortableness for a while, baby. We jumped the gun back then, hun. And by 2023, they had already bent the fucking knee. Not me, and not fucking today. You're not allowed to come over here and play. Sit in the shit that you made. And we know how they feel about sitting in shit, don't we? They sit in it long enough, they'll be ready to gather themselves together to the Capitol to rub that shit they've been sitting in on the walls. Right, baby? So if you are done with the Red Hat crew and you think you want to play with me, I'm waiting for you to do what you did before when you didn't want to play with the blue and you started beating down the Capitol door. Then we can talk some more.
All right, y'all. That is it. So you now know some ex-MAGAs, and I'm sorry, I am not down. I don't care if they're in MAGA or out of MAGA. Look, the bottom line is it will entail getting out in the streets. Look, let white people on the left and right, let them handle this whole purple revolution thing on their own. Stay out of it. It's none of our business. If they want to be on the streets hollering and screaming and fighting, they can do that on their own, you know? And besides, I don't know why y'all would want to be out on the streets with a bunch of low IQ, lazy people. So this is your fight. Y'all created this thing by putting that man in office. So you deal with the fallout now. And the only reason why you're coming up with this purple revolution is because what he's doing is impacting your life now. See, as long as it wasn't, y'all weren't interested in no revolution up in here. Now it's impacting you. And why the hell should somebody melanated get off of their ass because it's impacting you? You don't get off your ass on issues that impact us. Oh, I'm sorry. Let them fight on their own. We have stayed out of these things now for a long time. We need to stay on that path and not deviate from the path. We didn't create these issues, and it's not up to us to fix it. That's how I see it. I have no interest in their purple revolution at all. I would like to thank the Crawford experience. The hell with the purple revolution. Cut the damn check, please. You ain't never lie. Thank you for your support for my channel. Backup Trick 44. Lisa, they don't realize the revolution has already started with the Black American people. Our delineation has been a blessing. Yes, and thank you for your support for my channel. I deeply appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, we have nothing to give. We have nothing to give. We have given so much to people that don't appreciate it. And it's not like all of our contributions resulted in all of this racism going away. No, it's almost like the more we do, the more y'all double down. So no, I'm sorry. If the purple revolution jumps off, I'll be sitting at home watching it. Okay, that'll be my contribution right there. I'll be sitting home and watching it. So you know, if you don't get nothing else from me, you'll get a little bit of ratings. That's it. But nothing else. So y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. Thank you so much for being here, and this is my final live stream for today. I deeply appreciate you coming and giving your support for my channel. So be on the lookout for my live streams for tomorrow on very different topics. Shalom, family.